Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate a cardboard splint application for a forearm fracture, maybe a wrist fracture, dislocation. So you kind of want to get a splint that's about the right size of the arm, and you can see it's already in place. You know, I would have lifted the arm up and then had an assistant put the splint there for me. Fingers they can be slightly past the splint or behind. And it also does help to have somebody hold it for you where, you know, if you want to minimize movement. So good thing this isn't a fracture, because I'm going to move him just a little bit. Let's go twice through. It just makes it stay just a little bit better. And secure. So one of the key things is you don't want to put those ties over the fracture site. So wherever you suspect the fracture to be, you can adjust those accordingly. And again, I'm tying these in bows, so that way if it gets too tight, if there's any neurological problems, or if it's, you know, we can loosen it. Sometimes if you get knots too tight, you can't change it. So again, I'm using triangular bandages to secure this thing. So I'm going to put 2 straps on. This one you got to be a little more careful with because there's a little more soft tissue up here, a little more muscle. So careful on this one, make sure it doesn't get too tight. Okay, so far I have the wrist immobilized, the fingers immobilized, but the elbow still moves. So if it's a radius or ulna, I also have to immobilize the elbow. So we can do that with a sling. These are handy. These are in a lot of athletic training bags because they're so small and portable, and we can use them for a lot of things. You can see why it's called a triangular bandage. So for this, again, it does help to have another assistant. But you're going to basically get the arm across the chest, and this thing positions whether you triangle. So the triangle part of that bandage goes to the elbow. So it goes back here. And you know, it's hard to not make extra movement by myself, but that triangular's back here. Then you're just going to do a real basic tying, securing, making sure the splint, so the arm should be level or above, not down. So when you secure, make sure it's the appropriate height. When we're done, we're going to go ahead and check fingers for capillary refill. You know, press it, turns white, should turn pink again. Sensation, make sure there's no numbness. See if they can wiggle their fingers. Otherwise, you might have to adjust the straps. But that's how you do a cardboard splint for a fracture, dislocation, wrist, forearm with a sling, and you can use slings for shoulder injuries as well. So.